Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. So these sessions, we will learn how to calculate break-even point and what method can be used. Okay, so in summary, break-even point is where the volumes of activity, where the organization's revenue and expenses are equals, or no profit or loss, and break-even point profit is zero. So this is the break-even point, yeah? Okay, there is three methods of determining the break-even point. First is mathematical equations method. Second is this contributions margin method. And the third one is the graphical method. So this method can be used in order to calculate the break-even points. So in the examinations, normally you are given the instructions to get these figures, to get the break-even numbers. And if there is no instructions detail either which method that can be used, so you are free to apply any of these three, as long as there is information given, there is enough information given to answer all these questions, unless. So, okay, then we'll look into the first method on mathematical equations methods. If variables, the mathematical equations method says minus variable cost minus fixed cost and equal to the profit, where this is the unit sales price times by the numbers of unit. And the variable cost is the unit variable cost times by the numbers of units. So at the break-even point, profit is zero. Okay, then let me see these examples. The following is information from Aurora Limited. Normal sales is 45,000 unit selling price per unit, 1 ringgit 50 cents. Variable cost per unit 75 cents, and fixed cost is 15,000. So now let me calculate the break-even point in units. So before we want to calculate, we need to use the equation to get to know how much actually the profit based on the information given. So the sales actually is equal to 67,500, whereby you need 45,000 unit times by 115 cents, and then you get the 67,500. And then you should minus with the variable cost. In order to get the figures, you need to time with the normal sales 45,000, and then you need to time with this variable cost per unit which is 75 cents. So equal to 33,750, and then you minus with the fixed cost 15,000. Then you will get the profit is 18,750, for the profit. But the question asks you to calculate the break-even point in unit. So what you need to do actually is to look into this, how we derive for these calculations to get 20,000, which is the break-even point in the point where net price, net profit actually is zero, which is the formula for net profit equals to P and then X minus with the A plus BX. And then you can get these equations, algebra equations, and you put the figure through this number. And then you get the amount of 20,000. So where the X is the sales output equal to the numbers of the unit. So this is the break-even point in unit. And then the next question, if you want to know the break-even point to the sales value. So what you need to do is actually you just time by uh, unique 20,000 with the selling price, then you get 30,000. So this is 30,000 actually is the break-even point in sales value. So if you put this figure into the equations, and then you can get the zero profit, which is this is the value of the sales for the break-even point. So you have to make sales 30,000 in order to break even. Which is after the break even, then you can start making money, making profits. Okay, this is a second method, contributions margin method. Okay, the contribution margin ratio is emphasize, any increase or decrease in sales revenue will result in total contributions margin. If you can see here the formula for the break-evens in units, fixed asset divide the contributions margin per unit. So in order for you to get the contribution margin per unit, you have to, selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. And then you will get the contributions margin per unit. Okay, this is step to calculate a break-even point in value using contributions margin ratio or contribution to sales ratio. So you need first to calculate contribution to the sales ratio, contribution per ratio or contribution margin ratio. Then second, using contribution to sales ratio, contributions per save ratio to calculate break-even point in sales value. If you can see here, it can be calculated by the dividing by the fixed cost divided by the C per SCS ratio, or break-even point in unit can time with the selling price per unit. So you will get this the contribution to the sales ratio in order to get this, a break-even point in sales value. Okay, let we see these examples using the contribution margin method. The following is the information from Aurora Limited. We use this the same example in our previous methods. So if you are referring here, the normal sales is 45,000, selling price per unit is 1 50 cent, variable cost price is 75 cent, and fixed cost is 50 cent. So the calculation they ask you to get this break-even point in unit, and second one the break-even point in sales value. So just to make sure that at the end of this calculation you get the same figure from the first method that we use that we applied with previously. So if you're using this using the contribution margin method, so the formula is profit equal to total contribution minus with the total fixed cost. So it's the same to see the profit actually how much the profit will be with this with this normal sales. The it will give the same figures, so that profit is 18,750. But the question asks you in terms of the break even. So the break even actually is the profit is equal to zero. And then the break even point in unit, the formula is you pick cost and you divide by the unit contributions margin. And then from this figure, you can get this 15,000 divided by 0.75, and then you get 20,000 unit. So unit contribution margin, you have to minus with this selling price unit minus the variable cost per unit. So you get the 75 cents. And then to prove that 20,000 unit is the profit is zero, which means that profit equal to this selling price value minus this selling price cost per unit minus with value cost per unit. So you get 75 cents, you time by the 20,000 per units, and then you minus with the 15,000, and then you will give your answer, which is 50 minus 15 becomes 0. Okay, so in order to get the break-even point in the sales value, and then 20,000 times by the selling price per unit, then you get the 30,000. Okay, now we look into the CVP analysis in order to calculate target sales for required profit, margin of safety, MOS, and the operating leverage. At this time, we only cover two CVP analysis. Target sales for required profit and margin of safety, MOS. Okay, let me see the formula to calculate target sales for required profits. So the target sales for the required profit, the formula is target sales volume in units equal to fixed cost plus target profit and divide the contribution margin per unit. And then in terms of you want to get value, you want to get a value in ringgit, target sales in value of ringgit. You need to find the target sales volume in sales value. So we use the contribution sales ratio instead of contribution margin per unit. So the target sales in value equals to fixed cost plus target profit divided by the contribution sales ratio. So previously in terms of the margin, now in terms of the sales ratio. Or in order to get the target sales in value, you can get this figure by calculating target sales volume per unit and selling price per unit. So you will get this target sales in value. Okay, this is the second method, margin of safety, indicate by how much can the company decrease its sales before a loss occurs. So it is a difference between the budgeted sales volume and the break-even sales volume. So alternatively, we can express the margin of safety in terms of a percentage. Okay, the formula of margin of safety first actually in terms of MOS in units, so equal to budgeted sales volumes minus break-even sales volume. And then in order to get the margin of safety in terms of the value, the formula is the budgeted sales in volume, in value in terms of ringgit, minus the break-even sales in value, so it is in ringgit also. So, and then the third one is the margin of safety in terms of the percentage. So the budgeted sales minus with this break-even sales divide by budgeted sales, and then you can get in terms of the percentage. Okay, this is example how to calculate the margin of safety. If you refer this example, if I read this, the Mamas and the Berhad make a sell product Z at the price of 50 ringgit per unit. So the variables cost is a 40 ringgit per unit and the budgeted fixed cost is 60,000. And then budgeted sales are 8,000 units. So you're required to prepare the to calculate the break-even point and then the margin of safety. So the first that you need to know is you have to come up with this, the break-even the break-even point in units equals to fixed cost divided by unit margin, unit contributions margin. So fixed cost actually is 60,000, and then you divide by the unit control margin is 10. How you get the 10 is 50 minus with the 40, and then you get 10. So 16,000 divided by 10 equal to 6,000 unique. So this is the break-even point in terms of unique. So after that, the MOS, margin of safety, equal to 8,000 minus with the 6,000 for the break-even point, and then you get 2,000 unique. So this is the margin of safety, 2,000 unique, or expressed in terms of percentage is 2,000 times by 100 divided by 8,000, which means you get this 25,000. So the margin of safety indicate to management that the actual sales can be reduced up to 2,000 units or 25 before the break-even point is reached, and no profit is made. Before the break, at that point, which is there is no profit is made. Okay, then this is the third method, which is a graphical method. I believe that this is the easier method, but taking longer time to draw this graph. Okay, so the graphical methods in terms of you mean is the chart, is mean the chart that can be used to plot and determine the break-even point for a single product or multi-product. So it can be used for to show the different product in one graph. You can see the difference. You can see the patterns of the graph. And then the following type of chart and commonly used to determine the break-even point: the traditional break-even chart, contribution approach break-even chart, single product profit volume chart, and multi-product profit or the volume chart. Okay, and now we look into the graphical method and the examples. If you can see here, the budgeted monthly output of Kamal Bakery is 8,000 units of kaya buns. The fixed overhead amount is 2,000 and the variable cost per kaya bun is 1 ringgit. The selling price of each bun is 150. So we have an extra 50 in terms of minus with the variable cost. We have 50. How many production? How many unit that can cover our fixed cost? That is our first impression when we look into this example. So the question asks you a traditional break-even chart to draw shows the break-even point and the total profit earned of 8,000 units are sold. So in order for us to plotting the graph, as what you can see here, so the vertical axis represent the total revenues. So this is the revenue and costs. So this is the revenue cost, while the horizontal axis represent the level of activity or the production and sales. So sales in units. Okay, so then the fixed cost of 2,000 represent by the straight line parallels of the horizontal axis. So you can see here 2,000 in horizontal axis. So this is the fixed cost. Okay, then the variable cost is added to the fixed cost to give to give the total cost. So this is the variable cost. Okay, then you get this total cost. So for total cost, we need to, so this one you added the variables because the price is increasing based on the productions. So you can come up with this total cost. So the total cost we need to plot only 2 points. Yeah. So the 2 points are total cost at zero output and total cost at the budgeted output and sales. So at the zero output, the cost is equal to the amount of fixed cost, which is 2000. So this one is 2000, and the totals, the total cost at the budget output level of 8000 equal to 18, equal to 10, 10,000 equal to tens. This one equal to tens. So, which is 2000 plus 8000. You can get the total cost of 10,000. So the revenue line is drawn starting from the zero sales, and the second point is that the expected level of 8,000 units, which are, which represent the total revenue of 12,000. So the total revenue of 8 units is 12,000. So this is 12,000. Okay, so if you look into this, then you will see, the contribution approach break-even chart and shows the break-even point at the contributions carry, and a profit value chart that shows the break-even point. Okay, so this is the break-even point of producing 4,000. I think it's this one, 4,000 units to balance to 8,000 in terms of this is the break-even points. Okay. Okay, you can rig this, recap the plotting the graph. And to understand, you have to uh, rig this one also to reflect with the graph that already explains. Okay, now let me see this one. So the break-even point is where the total cost line intersect the total revenue lines. So at this point, the total cost is equal to total revenue. From the chart, the break-even point is at the 4,000. And at the 4,000, the break-even point at 5,000. So this one here, it's 4,000. So at this point, both the revenue and total costs are 6,000. The one is 6,000. It's total revenues. So this is right cut note for explanations. Okay, then when you see this graph, it shows that the contributions break-even chart does not plot the fixed cost line. So instead, the variables cost line is plotted, running parallel to the total cost line. But nevertheless, like the traditional break-even chart, informations relating to the break-even point, the margin of safety, and the area of profits and loss can be obtained from the contribution approach break-even chart. To this information, if you refer to this, the chart also provides information regarding the amount of total contribution earned. In graph, you can see also the total contribution earned is the area between the total revenue line and the variable cost line. Total revenue lines and variable cost lines. Okay. Then you can read this, the points to understand more about how plotting the graph. Okay, so the profit volume chart illustrates the, as what you can see here, the relationship between volume and profits. So in this single product profit volume chart. The vertical axis represent the profit and loss make, and the horizontal axis represent total sales, output or sales revenue. So the maximum loss is equal to total fixed cost, the cost where no production is undertaken. So the line cutting across the horizontal axis in the profit lines. So the horizontal axis is plotted to intersect the vertical axis at the point of zero profit and loss. Okay, at the zero profit and loss. Okay, so you can read this one and understand with regard to the graph that I explained just now. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask during our next face-to-face tutorial sessions, or you can post any questions in the forums. Thank you.